Hi everyone, this is Oh My Giona, and today I'm gonna do a review of Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha episodes 5 and 6. So we start off with Hyejin waking up in bed with Dushik, and of course she was like shocked and trying to figure out what really happened, but then she couldn't remember. It was a nice way of showing the dynamics of the village itself because Hyejin goes out of Dushik's house and Namsuk from the Chinese restaurant saw her and then everybody knew. It was super fast. Like everybody knew she was at Dushik's even before she could go back home. Like that's how fast the rumor was. And for a small town like this, it's that's something that's very normal. I guess people were just too close. They knew everyone. And so when something strange or something that doesn't usually happen every day happens, they just talk about it all the time. But the funny thing about this though is that because they always create rumors, right? Even though they are close, they don't really ask each other stuff, which leads us to the three mysteries of Gongjin, with number one being why Hwa-jeong and Changguk broke up, like why they had a divorce. Nobody knew the reason. There were lots of rumors, but nobody dared to ask. The second one is Dushik's whereabouts for the 5 years after his graduation. We knew he studied in Seoul, so he graduated from Seoul National University, which is super hard to get into. Just means he's super smart. But after he graduated, he has gone off the radar for 5 years, and nobody knew what happened. I think I think he got married, and then whatever trauma he had, it happened during that 5 years. After that, he went back to Kongjin. Nobody asked why he just disappeared. And I find it really strange. If you people are like so close, almost family, in this place, why can't you just ask? And what they do is that they spread rumors around like, oh, he was a spy in North Korea, or he was in Africa, he crossed the Pacific Ocean. Like, these things are crazy. Why can't they just go to him and ask? I mean, not like Dushik would actually answer it, but the thing is we don't hear the third one because there are three. But Misun didn't finish what she was saying. My theory for the third mystery is that it has something to do with either one of the grandmas, probably not Gamli Halmoni because we already had her story. It's either that or something with Namsuk. I think she lost a child. Maybe her child died or something because we saw a snippet of her holding on to a toy and she was in a bedroom. We also get a little bit more from Hyejin and possibly why she turned out the person she is now. We learned that she had a boyfriend named Lee Kang-uk before when she was in dentistry school. And this guy was basically a jerk. She heard him talking to his friends about her clothes and her shoes and how awful she dresses, like how she has a nice face and a nice body, but she doesn't have good fashion and she always has the same clothes that she wears. And okay, this guy is awful. Why did she date this guy? I don't know. But it seems like she broke up with him right after. And this guy is friends with Song-hyun, our second lead. And it seems like Song-hyun was really nice to her. She remembers him as a good sunbae, so But I think this is where Hyejin's fixation to brands, this is where it came from, because you know how she dresses now. She has all branded stuff, like her shoes are super expensive. She only gets like the real ones. She doesn't wear fake stuff. I think it came from this. She was so traumatized by that experience that she told herself, I'm going to earn all that money, dress myself with beautiful clothes so that nobody could ever tell me that again. And that's just sad. But if you think about it, if she didn't become like this and she didn't buy her shoes, she wouldn't have met Dushik back then. So it still goes according to destiny, you know? Like, if you are supposed to meet this person, you're going to meet that person. And whatever trauma or suffering you've had in the past, it makes you the person you are now so that you're ready for what's to come. We officially see Songhyun in this episode when Dushik saved him when he was about to fall off that thing. What do you call it? That ledge, whatever, close to the sea. And Dushik saved him. It was such a funny series. It was such a funny sequence because it was very similar to when Hyejin first came to Gongjin and nobody believed her. Like, she would say, no, I'm a dentist. I have money. I can pay you. It's just that I'm having such a rough day. But nobody believed her. They were all thinking she was a liar and that she won't pay them like $4. It was the same thing with Songhyun. Dushik didn't believe him at all. He thought he was like a YouTuber as opposed to him actually being a producer, a director for shows. But yeah, they started off with this really nice relationship between them, with Dushik saving Songhyun, helping him get around. We learned a little bit about Songhyun, about he's not very good with directions. But I really like what he said about getting lost, that it's not always bad to get lost, because then you find places you weren't supposed to go to, but beautiful places like Gongjin he was able to discover because he got lost. And that was pretty cool because it reminded me of what Yoon Si-yoon said before in his talk for his lecture when they did like the Ihwa episode for One Night, 2 Days. And he said that we always want to go for our dreams and take the fast way there, like take the highway. You know, it's just a straight road and you get to your destination really fast. But then if you go to like the side roads, he called them roads that navigation doesn't know. You go there, it's a rough road. There are ups and downs, and you're going to have a really hard time getting to your destination. But then you see the beautiful view that you wouldn't have seen if you've taken the highway. And when Songhyun was talking about it, it was like this writer saw Yoon Si-yoon do that lecture and she wrote that in here. Because like, oh, that was totally Yoon Si-yoon's lecture. But yeah, that was beautiful. He seems like a really nice guy. But he seems to be having a really hard time with his job. Not that he doesn't like what he does, but he's having a hard time trying to create new content for viewers because he's been doing the same thing over and over again, and it seems like it's not working anymore. I think he is here in Gongjin to do a show with a Jun from DOS, the idol. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. I really like, what do you call this? Like when they do shows within a show. Like, it's a drama, but there's a show happening. It's like King of Dramas. There's also one of my favorites, Strange Daughter-in-Law with Dasom from Sister. That was amazing. I don't know why not a lot of people watched it, but it's a really good show. It's called Strange Daughter-in-Law or Eccentric Daughter-in-Law. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, I really recommend watching it. It's such a fun drama. Anyway, I'm really excited to see what the dynamics is gonna be between Dushik, Sunghyun, and Hyejin, because they really don't hate each other. Like, you know, when we have second leads and they're mean and like that person just clashes with the main leads. But Sunghyun is just so nice and I love him. Like on my notes, I already wrote here, like, because I was writing down stuff that I want to talk about. And during his scene, I wrote here, 벌써 좋아 이 오빠. I already like this oppa. I'm having a hard time choosing. Do I like Dushik more or do I like Sunghyun more? So far it's Dushik, but we'll see in the next episodes. So in episode 5, we also saw Hwa-jeong having, I think, some nerve damage because she was biting on her teeth a lot. We've seen her do this so many times during the past episodes. Whenever she's mad or she wanted to say something, she keeps it to herself and she would just like bite on her teeth. That's why she was having troubles with her facial nerves. It was really sad to see her like that. I think she still likes Changguk. Is that really his name, Changguk? But like the zone chief, I think she still likes him. But like, why did they divorce? Like, I don't know. Changguk seems like he's actually over the marriage because he's going after Cho-hui. But Hwa-jeong still seems like she has some 미련, some feelings left for him, and that she regrets the decision she made. There's this one line that Hwa-jeong said when they were in the nurse's office that I really like. She said, oh, was it Hwa-jeong said it or was it Hyejin? But anyway, it was that scene, and somebody said that you have to find where the pain is coming from so that you can treat it properly. Because she thought it was her tooth that was hurting, but it was actually her facial nerves. And so she was looking at the wrong thing. So yeah, I think it was Hyejin who said it, that you have to pinpoint exactly what the problem is so you can fix it. Or else it's just not going to get better. And then she looks outside and sees Cho-hui and Changguk outside and she's like, yeah, you know what? I really have to do that. That was such a good line. I love it. And I think it also applies to Dushik. That because he's always trying to be this happy person, you know, like he has this image that he's trying to keep so as not to worry people. And he's not facing the problem. We don't know what it is yet, but he really has to look it in the eye and figure out what he should do so that he can overcome it. Well, we see him in Seoul when he had an appointment. We see this time that it's with a psychiatrist. And the doctor asks him, like, do you still get the nightmares? And he says, yes. We get a glimpse of what it was. It was him in this, like, dark place. We don't know if it's a room or whatever, but he looks like he was strapped there. He was trying to feel the walls and trying to get out. And then all of a sudden, there was, like, this bloody hand, like, grabbed him on the back, which really scared me when I was watching it. But yeah, that's all we see, and we can just theorize whatever happened with that. Because there's blood, I'm thinking somebody died, okay? Somebody who's really special to him. I still think he got married at one point during that 5 years, and the girl died. Has something to do with his boat. But I don't know, we just don't have enough to actually make a theory about what's really going on with him. And then we go to episode 6. And the biggest thing about this episode was the 노래자랑, the singing competition. Everyone was in it to win it. And it was just really hilarious, and it was awesome. All their performances are exactly like the person, you know, like you have Namsuk and she's totally tone deaf. It was funny. You have the grandmas fighting on stage. Then we have little Bora. She's just so cute. Nobody knew she had such a beautiful voice, but she does. And I think Ijun just fell for her at that moment. It was so cute. So a big part of that singing competition was Juri trying to win the prize so she could get braces. She has this snaggletooth she hates so much, and she feels embarrassed to smile in front of her crush at school because she thinks it's ugly and all that. She even ran away from home and took her dad's safe with her because she wanted to get the braces so much. But it all ends nicely. She eventually decided not to get them by the end of the episode because June thought that she was really cute because of that, and like her idol recognized her because of that. So if I was her, I wouldn't get braces at all. Like, Oppa told you that you're cute with that. Like, no, I'm not getting that out. Oh, and segue. Speaking of June, I thought he was really awesome when Judy was chasing after him the end of the show. Because I would imagine like idols don't like that when people are just chasing them, you know. It's kind of scary, and it's, I don't know, like I wouldn't like it if it was me. But he actually stopped and waited for her, and the thing that touched me the most was that he was talking to her in 존댓말. So he was talking to her formally with like the yo at the end of his sentences. Although it's so obvious that Judy is so much younger than him. But it's just nice to see him really respect his fans and not just talk to them casually. Like I like it. It was really cute. I have a really good impression of June, and I wish to see more of him in the future episodes when they shoot the variety show in Gongjin. And in connection with that, we also see this really beautiful story of Judy and her dad reconciling after the show. And you can just see how much Oh-yoon loves his daughter. That's the thing when you're a teenager, or like even when you're older, it's just that the stuff that your parents do for you, it's sad, but we don't always appreciate it. And that's what Judy was doing. She just thinks that dad is on her case and wants to make her life miserable. But dad only wants the best for her, right? And there was that scene when Oh-yoon dropped his guitar just so that he could carry Judy to see June. And like his guitar basically is his life. He's a singer, you know, he loves performing and all that. But that moment, like you can just see like nothing else mattered more to him than Judy. Oh, and it was just so cute. Oh my gosh, and also when he was crying in the cafe. And it was just like, well, I love her so much. Why can't she see that? Uh, but I think Judy does see it. She's a kind kid. She's just very prickly, being a teenager and all that. But I think she is a pretty nice kid. We also get to see Hyejin when she was in high school, when she ran away from home because her dad had a girlfriend and she was very hurt by it that she ran away. She went to Gongjin again, to the ocean. But then when she went back home, she was riding the bus. She got off and her dad was there waiting for her. And he didn't even scold her. Like, what he did was take off his sweater and give it to her and just say, it's still cold, so you better wear this. And didn't say anything. And I don't know, I feel like even though I get it, I would never completely understand it until I have my own kids. But it's just so touching, Like, you always fight with your parents, but then they love you more than you love them. Like, you just can't do anything about that. They love you more. So so when Hyejin saw Oyun and Judy together like that, she got reminded of her dad and she gave him a call, and that was really sweet. And how he asked, like, oh, you know what, like, can you call me even though nothing's up? Like, I'd really appreciate that. And that was just so cute. I love how in just this one episode, we resolve Judy and Oyun's relationship, and we also had a little bit of a reconciliation between Hyejin and her dad, and that was just sweet. I love it. So we see a little bit more about Cho-hui, Jungkook, and Hwa-jeong in this episode, because Cho-hui was wearing this bracelet, and Jungkook was really happy to see that because he was the one who gave her the bracelet. But then we find out that all three of them actually had that bracelet. And so when I saw that picture, I'm like, really got my mind thinking about, like, I was reassessing the situation because all this time I was like, okay, that was Jungkook's first love, so something might happen again and all that. But with this, it's like, oh gosh, that really changed. Like, that picture really changed it. And in that picture, I think Cho-hee was actually leaning towards Hwa-jeong. And if you've seen the drama special Jinjin, like the title of the drama special is Jinjin, they say there that when you're taking pictures and like whichever direction your head is leaned on, it's that person that you like more. So if you have like two people, you're in between two people, and say like you leaned like this and took the picture, they're saying that you like this person better, like on this side. And like Cho-hee was actually like this to Hwa-jeong, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that? I couldn't be sure during that time, but then I became like more conscious when they're on screen, and during the singing competition, they were all like beside each other, right? And Cho-hee would like always look to Hwa-jeong, and she has this expression on her face that I can't exactly read, but it feels like there's something there, you know? And now I'm thinking that Cho-hee actually liked Hwa-jeong. And she didn't know. Like, Hwa-jeong didn't know at all. And all this time they thought she liked the guy, but she actually liked the 언니. Like, oh my gosh. Like, that would be such a twist. I love it. Like, it would make sense though, like why she never got married, you know? Like, I mean, same-sex marriage is not legal over there. And so it makes sense that she she never got married all this time. And then she went back to Gongjin, and she always looks at Hwa-jeong like this, like she cares for her so much, and she would like message her and all that and be like, "Oni, are you okay?" Like just checking on her. And Hwa-jeong just says like, "Oh, she's just too kind to a fault." You know, like it just means like she's always been like so concerned of Hwa-jeong, that maybe Hwa-jeong just thought of her as like this kind dongsaeng. But no, oh my gosh, I really think that Cho-hui likes Hwa-jeong. Like we gotta observe that in the next episodes, because I believe it's true. And that would be so cute. I'd be really happy, because like that's like a kick to the face for Jungkook, because he really thinks that Cho-hui likes him and like went back to Gongjin for him, and like oh my gosh, I don't like that guy. So we did have some cute moments between Yejin and Do-shik in this episode, but they're just very similar to the past one, so I don't really want to talk about that. It's just like they go back and forth, and like Do-shik always seems like he has the upper hand, which annoys me, because he obviously likes her anyway. But yeah, we saw another hint about Do-shik's past this episode, when Oh-yoon was saying you should find someone to lean on too, because you always carry people's burdens, but you never let go of yours. And he went home after that, opens this book, and it had a picture. There was a lady there, a guy that we don't see the face, and a baby. And then he cries. And my first thought was that, oh my gosh, did he actually had a child as well with this girl? But then the more I thought about it, it could just be a family picture of him, his dad, and his mom. And like he was the baby in the picture, and he was just he was crying because he missed his parents. Because before that, we had Oh-yoon talking about Judy and how much he loves her. You know, and I'm gonna stick with that right now, that's his family picture and not like his wife and child, because we didn't see the face of the guy in the picture. So, and we also don't know how his parents look like, so it could be either way. But and we end the episode with Do-shik almost falling, and Hyejin and Songhyun saving him. And then Songhyun and Hyejin finally meeting. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Like I said earlier, that Do-shik, like whenever he has an interaction with Hyejin always loses, okay? Because she obviously likes him. Oh, and Do-shik always has the upper hand. So now I want to see him like get a little bit nervous, you know, like, oh shoot, there's this guy who probably likes Hyejin as well, and Hyejin likes him or thinks really nicely of him, and this guy is a really good guy. Like even I like him. I can't wait. Like Songhyun is just so awesome. I love him. And then we also find out that during the when he lost his way, like he lost his way a couple of times, when Do-shik told him, no, you go right, okay, you go right, but then he turns left. And we all thought he was just like this Zorro type of guy who can't find his way at all. But then we see in the end that he actually saw Hyejin and was following her, was trying to look for her. That's why he was going the other way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Like, oh, I feel so bad. Like being a Do-shik fan and then being more excited to see more of Ji Song-hyun in the next episode. But he was such a nice guy. Oh my gosh, this is why I always have like second lead syndrome, because they're nice guys. I love them. But then in the epilogue, oh man, we see the day when Hyejin went to Kongjin for the second time, and she actually met Dushik again. That was when they were in high school. Dushik gave her 100 won so she can buy her samgakkimbap and her milk. She didn't have enough money. And Dushik, being the Dushik he is, just went in there and gave her 100 won, and she's like, well, like, you didn't have to. But then he just walks away. Like the usual Dushik fashion. I guess he's always been like that, hey? And it was just, it was such an awakening, because when we saw their first encounter, like chronologically, when they were kids, I thought, oh, that was cute, because you are bound to meet people you are destined to meet. And when they met each other as kids, it had a big impact in their lives. Like, if they didn't meet, Hyejin wouldn't be smiling for that last picture she took with her mom. And then Dushik wouldn't have that picture of him and his grandpa if that event didn't happen in their lives. So that was the first one. And Hyejin did mention that she's been to Gongjin 3 times. So the first one was when she was a child. The second time is what we saw now, when she was in high school. She ran away from home and they met again. Like, okay, it could just be like a plot convenience or like a trope, a cliche, but I love it. It was really nice to see them meet for the second time, and then the third time being when Hyejin lost her shoe and Dushik found it for her. And it's just so cute to see that, because they were meant to be. They're the main leads. They were meant to be. They've met a couple of times, but during those times they weren't ready, okay? Like, it wasn't the right timing for them to be together. They were both going through stuff during that time. I mean, they are still going through stuff right now, but I don't know, the universe seemed to have thought, okay, this is like the perfect moment. Now's the time, do it. But I really liked it. But now that I think of it like that, it makes me sad, because it seems like Songhyun doesn't have any chance. No. Oh my gosh, I'm really starting to like that oppa more than Dushik. Anyway, that's episodes 5 and 6. It was still really good. It was a good week. I'm still enjoying it a lot. I guess there's not a lot to talk about, because they're quite similar to what we've already seen. Not that I didn't enjoy it, but they're starting to become very similar. With Songhyun in the picture now, it might change a little bit, like might pick up the pace and all that. But I'm still enjoying it. Like, such good humor, touching moments, just simple countryside moments. I'm a sucker for that, so I still love it. Really excited to see the next episodes on Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, that's it for me for this video. Let me know what you think of episodes 5 and 6 and your crazy theories, like far away. Oh my gosh, with like that Cho-hui thing. And then, like, what do you think really happened to Dushik in that 5 years? Like, there's so many thoughts floating around, and yeah, I just think we don't have enough evidence yet to have a full theory on it. But yeah, that's it for me today. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.